The government shutdown is coming to an end. President Donald Trump and the Republicans have won. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have lost. And that is something that President Donald Trump is not shy about pointing out.
He thought he could break the Republicans, and the Republicans broke him. But he did think that we have good policy, they have bad policy. And there's something, I don't know if it's Trump derangement or they're just crazed. They're like crazed lunatics. But, you know, we have just great policy. We have good people. They have some good people, too. I know a lot of Democrats. They're not all crazy. They're not all. But you have some that are absolutely terrible. I look at this Crockett. This is a very low IQ person. And I look at somebody that comes from Somalia where they don't have anything. They don't have police. They don't have military. They don't have anything. All they have is crime. And she comes in and tells us how to run our country. The Constitution says this, the Constitution. The whole thing is crazy. I feel badly because I've known Chuck Schumer. I knew him when he was a person who loved Israel, and now he's a Palestinian. He's become a Palestinian. And it's amazing. I've never seen a politician change so much. Also, he doesn't have, you know, he was a pretty talented guy. He's lost his talent.
Chuck Schumer's lost control of his party. He's lost his talent. He lost the shutdown. He lost his hair. He's lost pretty much everything. It's probably time for Chuck Schumer to pack it on in. But that's what happens when you try to break the Republican Party under President Donald Trump by demanding money for illegal immigrants. $1.5 trillion they demanded for health care subsidies and benefits for illegal aliens. And Donald Trump and the Republicans said, no, we have a clean CR. We want you to pass the clean CR. Let's get it done. And eventually the Democrats folded, led by Mark Warner from Virginia. A coalition of about 10 Democrats voted with the Republicans. The vote passed 60-40. It now goes back to the House of Representatives for them to put their blessing on it, and then for Donald Trump to sign it so we can get everything back to normal. And President Donald Trump said, look, it's a good thing we're getting back to normal, but it's a terrible thing that the Democrats have done. The Democrats in their, I guess you would say, their temper tantrum, the Democrats in trying to stop President Donald Trump and the Republicans have once again cost the country billions and billions of dollars.
Well, the country loses a lot of money when they do this, and they're not getting much, but nobody gets a lot. But it's terrible. What they really wanted was $1.5 trillion for people that came in illegally, people that came in through and out of prisons. You know, we had like Venezuela, they dumped their prisons.
They said that was all exaggerated.
Oh, yeah, I know it's exaggerated. They wanted $1.5 trillion for healthcare from people that were, in some cases, 11,888 exactly murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. So they came into our country, they poured into our country, and they want to take care. And we're trying to get them out because we don't want 11,000 murderers in our country. You don't want it. Nobody wants it. And we have drug dealers and we have everything else that they want to make sure they get good health care. That's not what our country's about. And it would have hurt other people's health care.
Yeah, all the people, everybody would have not benefited. And in this way, a lot of people do, if that makes any sense. President Donald Trump, in addition to sitting down with Laura Ingraham on Fox News, he also sat down in the Oval Office and he took questions from reporters, as he does now that the shutdown is coming to an end. He was asked, President Donald Trump, do you actually approve of and agree with this Republican deal? Here's what he said.
You mentioned senators that are here, Mr. President. Do you personally approve of the deal that's happening right now on Capitol Hill to end the...
Well, it depends what deal we're talking about. But if it's a deal I heard about, that's certainly, you know, they want to change the deal a little bit. But I would say so. I think based on everything I'm hearing, they haven't changed anything. And we have support from enough Democrats. And we're going to be opening up our country. It's too bad it was closed, but we'll be opening up our country very quickly.
Yeah, and that's going to be something that he's like, look, I support it. I want to open up the country. We want to get it all done. And the biggest thing is that we don't have to pay out $1.5 trillion. We don't have to pay out this ransom that the Democrats have held because they're concerned about Obamacare subsidies, which President Donald Trump and John Thune and J.D. Vance and everyone else said, look, we'll talk about it, but you have to open up the government. You have to open up the government and then we can come to the table and then we can talk about Obamacare. And that's what the Democrats, the 40 Democrats who didn't vote to open up the government, that's what they're so infuriated about. That's why there's now bitter infighting inside the Democrat Party. The Democrats are fuming because they felt that this was the only leverage they had. They said it over and over again. Catherine Clark said it. This is the only leverage we have. We know Americans are hurting, but this is all the leverage we have. Chris Coons from Delaware said it. They all repeated it over and over. Chuck Schumer himself saying it gets better every single day for us, that Americans are out of work and losing out on payments. And it all comes down to Obamacare, which President Donald Trump said, look, we'll talk about it, but it's a horrible system from the get-go.
Well, I watched Obama from when this thing came about. As you know, I opposed it very strongly. Unfortunately, we had a couple of negative votes, which should never have happened. But I said it's going to be a disaster, and I was exactly right. The premiums have gone up like rocket ships, and I'm not just talking about recently. I'm talking about for years they've been going up. And he said premiums will go down. Everything will be wonderful. It's horrible health insurance at a very high price. And what I want, and probably what you're alluding to, is the fact that I want, instead of going to the insurance companies, I want the money to go into an account for people where the people buy their own health insurance. It's so good. The insurance will be better. It'll cost less. Everybody's going to be happy. They're going to feel like entrepreneurs. They're actually able to go out and negotiate their own health insurance. And they can use it only for that reason. That's the beauty, only for that purpose. And if we did that, that would be so exciting. Call it Trump care, call it whatever you want to call it, but anything but Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster, just like he was as a president.
Yeah, he wants the money to go to the people. If you're going to buy your health insurance, you should get the money. And then you can go out and you can use whatever you want for this policy or that policy. You can find a system that works with your doctor, with your family's needs. And it's not going to be a forced American policy that the government has approved of that is going to skyrocket after, of course, the subsidies run out, which was the scam all along. It's why the Democrats were so angry. It's why the Democrats were leveraging to keep the government closed. They've been subsidizing Obamacare, which is totally unaffordable, for years. And now that the subsidies are running out, they were afraid that Americans would find out exactly how bad Obamacare was. So they had to do whatever they needed to, including shutting the government down, to make those Obama subsidies permanent. Well, now that's all out the window, and everybody's going to see exactly how horrible a system it is, and Donald Trump's going to revamp it with the help of the Republican Party. But that's not all. Donald Trump's also going to send you more money. Remember all those tariffs? What are we actually going to do with that tariff revenue? Donald Trump wants to pay down the debt, but before he does that, he wants to cut you a check.
We're going to issue a dividend to our middle income people and lower income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. The numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment from the tariffs. And so if that were ever reversed, it would be a disaster. Frankly, it would be a national security problem for our country. And nobody thinks it's going to be reversed. I think we had a very good court case. As you know, it's before the Supreme Court right now. But if that were ever reversed, you know, people are saying, oh, it's $1 billion. Some people said, oh, it's $2 billion. Well, that obviously we can handle very easily. But this is trillions of dollars we're talking about in terms of the tariff income and all the investment income that's come into our country. You know.
Yeah, Donald Trump saying, look, we're going to get you all the money you need for your health care. We're going to get you the money that you need from the tariffs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pay down the debt. In fact, he posted a Truth Social, all money left over from the $2,000 payments made to low and middle income USA citizens from the massive tariff income pouring into our country from foreign countries will be substantial, will be used to substantially pay down national debt. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. This, of course, while the all comes out while the Supreme Court is still trying to figure out the best route to take with President Donald Trump's tariffs. And if Donald Trump's tariffs are stricken, or if Donald Trump's ability to tariff other nations without congressional approval is shot down, Donald Trump says it would be devastating, not just for all Americans, but for our national security as well. Speaking of national security, travel hopefully will go back to normal now that the government will be funded, and our FAA and our TSA and our air traffic controllers are going back to work. Travel has been horrible, and everybody wants to know, now that the government's back open, will it go back to normal?
Can you guarantee to Americans that travel is going to go back to normal once the government...
That travel is? Oh, yeah. It'll go better than normal. You know why?
When the government reopens.
Yeah, sure. It'll be much better than normal because we're buying the most sophisticated avionics and, you know, technology for our control towers. And we didn't have that. We had a guy named Buttigieg Boot edge, they say is the best way. Just say two edges, like off the edge of a cliff, which is where they were taking us, by the way. Boot edge was the Secretary of Transportation, and he spent billions of dollars trying to patch together our air traffic control system, which was a conglomeration of all different systems in all different cities. They had hundreds of companies working on it, and they were spending billions of dollars. And when they turned it on, it didn't work. It didn't even work a little bit. That's why you had a helicopter crashing into an airplane, that if we had a great system, bells and whistles would have started going off. So we are now in the process. We're in final bids of getting the finest system anywhere in the world. I've analyzed it. Sean Duffy has been working really hard on it, doing a fantastic job, by the way. And over the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be handing out the finest air traffic control system anywhere in the world. All the towers will be equipped. They were going copper wire into glass wire into other types of wire. And if you knew anything, you know copper wire doesn't work with glass. You know glass doesn't work with other substances. And they spent billions of dollars, and when they turned it on, nothing happened, okay? We're getting the most sophisticated, all brand new. Every control tower will have the same exact system. It'll be the most sophisticated system by far in the world. And what we've done is we've looked around other countries, and we've taken the absolute best systems in every different form, because there are different. You have lots of different companies like IBM and Raytheon and a lot of great companies. They're all bidding, and we're going to pick the best one, and it'll get built relatively quickly, and we are going to have the greatest air traffic control system anywhere in the world.
Speaking of air traffic control, Donald Trump and Air Force One did a flyover during the Commanders game. Donald Trump, inside of Air Force One, flew right over the Washington Commanders game this weekend before he landed, went inside, and went into the booth to discuss football with the Fox Sports announcers.
Mr. President, thanks so much for joining us. Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma. Veterans Day weekend, right. The NFL salute to service. How meaningful is it for you to be here today? You just took part in the halftime ceremony honoring the military.
Well, we just swore in a tremendous group of young people, and that was an honor, and they are just fantastic, and they love. You know, our recruitment's been record-setting. Since a year ago it was a disaster for the country, and now it's record-setting. So this was an honor to be here.
Yeah, Donald Trump swearing in some military men and women who are now going to be going and fighting for our country and our freedom. The Commanders, however, did not fight hard enough. They lost to the Lions. I think they kind of got pummeled, but that's neither here nor there. It was a great game, and everyone was thrilled to see the president in the broadcast booth, which I think is I think he's a big football fan. I wonder if he complained about the kickoff rule, because that's what he hates, that new kickoff rule. I didn't watch the entire broadcast, but maybe I'm pretty sure if I know Donald Trump, he probably complained about the kickoff rule. Speaking of the military, it is Veterans Day, and we want to thank all of our veterans for all of their service in all of our military branches throughout the years. And if you know a veteran, definitely pat them on the back, buy them a drink, get them a slice of cake, whatever it is you can do to celebrate them, because we would be nothing, and this country would not have the freedoms and liberties it does without the people that stand up and defend it. Speaking of freedoms and liberties, President Donald Trump has been defending his freedom, his liberty, our country, business. He has succeeded where many presidents have failed. And the reason he succeeds is because of certain characteristics that he's adopted and that he utilizes and he executes in his daily life that have made him succeed in every aspect, whether it's business or politics, whether it's real estate or entertainment, whether it's raising a family. Donald Trump excels at everything, and we've studied the reasons why. And we've written a great book called Go Trump Yourself, 10 Ways to Live Like Trump in Any Economy. If you're looking for more success, more happiness, if you're looking to win, and when you fight, this book is going to help you do it. Go Trump Yourself, 10 Ways to Live Like Trump in Any Economy. You can get the digital bundle downloaded immediately. It's an ebook and an audiobook. It's only $24. All you have to do is go to gotrumpyourself.com. Gotrumpyourself.com, or click the link in the description of this video. Get this book today. Start living like Trump tomorrow.